Well, hello there. I'm back with yet again another abandoned location, but get this. The house right behind me was once owned by Charlie Chaplin. That's right, Charlie Chaplin. So, what the hell am I waiting for? Let's dive in. Alright, so starting with the downstairs. Now, I'm unsure exactly how long Charlie Chaplin owned this house and the surrounding property. But after him, it was owned by, I believe, a Jim Newell and a David O'Brien. And it was part of a 160-acre cattle ranch. Then after those two, in 1944, some nice golf clubs, perhaps, or just a golf bag. Interesting. Anyway, in 1944, the house was then purchased by a Mr. Jack Ingram. And part of the reason why he purchased the property was to avoid the draft in 1944. But he was also an actor, and he would go on to use the property to film westerns, TV shows, movies. And he owned the property until the 1950s, I believe 1956. That's kind of ominous. Watch out for that thing. Oh my, do I want to attempt to vault over this? I'm getting too big for this shit. Ooh, good Lord. I don't know if it'll be worth it, but we'll see. Yeah. Not the most exciting room. Oh, you have what's left of a cupboard. Yeah, pretty empty closet. But all right, fear not, there is more. On to the next floor. All right, now onto the upper floor. So in 1956, that is when Jack Ingram sold the property to a production company called 4-Star Productions. And they shot such westerns here like The Lone Ranger, The Cisco Kid, Zane Grey Theater, Roy Rogers, and I think a couple others too, but that's just what's off the top of my head. Well, and straight out ahead, there were, other buildings too, to, resemble a small western town. Those got torn down in the 1960s, I believe. So I'm not 100% sure any specific titles that were filmed here when Jack owned the property. But for about 20 years, it was used for shooting westerns. So yeah, a lot of film history here. I didn't really intend, once again, to do another urban exploring video, but when I heard, Charlie Chaplin owned the house, that was enough for me, but obviously the history with Western TV shows and films, that's quite cool too. So yeah, nice look at what's left of the kitchen. Yeah, and from what I heard from locals of the area, this place was still in tip-top shape up until like the 90s, maybe early 2000s. So it's quite a shame what's happened, to the house. I guess there used to be a beautiful fountain out back, but yeah, when I was out back, sadly I did not see any fountain. But yeah, that's just what happens. It's the urban decay for you. But it is a shame. Okay. So, maybe this used to be a bedroom right here. I'll check out this closet. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Now onto what was once a bathroom. Another toilet lies victim. I don't know why people do this. Ugh. Yeah, definitely it would have been beautiful when it was still maintained before it was left to rot. Well, and again, in the perfect world, you know, property just wouldn't be damaged if it was left no matter what, but that's sadly just not the case right now. Yeah, if I were to bet, I'd say this house was at least built in the 1920s. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I keep hearing and seeing little lizards. I don't know if I'll be able to... Oh, he's got... That won't show up on camera. I'm not zoomed in enough. I just saw a lizard snatch a bug. Oh, God. Ugh. And we got bees. That's actually a first to see like a hive of bees. All right. That's interesting. Oh, I'm good. I did not aggro the bees. All right, yeah. I'm a little bit rambling, that's okay. Before I head outside, just look at this floor. Look at that. Not very safe. As I've said already in this video, I'm getting too big for this shit, so I'm not gonna directly step on that, but you gotta be careful. I don't recommend doing this, but when I do it, I'm careful. Anyway, I'll see you outside. Okay, now just outside. So what I'm looking at here, I'm assuming was once a guest house, perhaps. And at least this graffiti straight ahead is quite cool, in my opinion. This is my new friend. Creepy cool. Yeah, I quite like that. Well, speaking of cool, some nice architecture here. What's left of a fireplace. This is kind of strange. Like, I don't know if they were going to expand. Because there you see, you know, this is a stone path right here. Oh, I should probably know what's going on here, or what was going on here. Maybe this was just for, like, grilling food. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Now this irritates me. Another thing that irritates me about the decay and stupid vandalism. Like, this would have been so cool. I mean, you can kind of tell. Don't want to make it worse now. Yeah, this looks like this would have been some kind of, like, I don't know, South American, like, statue face. like a mask, you know. And, you know, some geniuses defaced it, literally. So that's a shame. That would have looked really cool preserved, but I don't know. What are you gonna do? Ooh, can I do it? Yes, I can. No. Damn shame. The brick is still beautiful. Man. Okay, so I'll take a little bit of a look inside. There's not much to see, sadly. Obviously, you can tell maybe within the last 5 years, roughly, there's a fire here. It's a shame. Obviously, would have been a much better look at the guest house if there was no fire. Oof. All right, so there is one other building that does remain, so I'll take just a quick peek. I don't think it's accessible, so, you know, obviously I won't go in, but I can peek my phone inside, and no, that's not good. Well, there you go. Some more decay. This could be collapsed wood from the house, or just, you know, made from this building. So as you can see, I think there was more to it, but, well, it's quite hard to say. I can only speculate. Oh, I do love this wallpaper, though. I do think that's quite nice. All right, back to the outside of the house. All right, I'm now back at the main property, just outside of the main floor. And God, it is a beautiful day. I mean, it helps the area I'm in is beautiful, but, well, it also makes me wonder even more how this property wasn't purchased by the former owners. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, I had heard that there was once a very nice fountain behind this house, and I think this is what's left of it. Well, that's my best guess anyway. Well, it's cool that there's something left. Yeah, hard to imagine. Charlie Chaplin once lived here. This is all that remains. But anyway, guys, I think that will about do it for this. So I'll show you guys a couple more exterior shots. But wait, there's more. So I'm staying on the topic of movie ranches because, as I said earlier, at Charlie Chaplin's house, throughout the 40s and up until the mid-60s, that property was used to film westerns, TV shows, and a few films too, I believe. So I'm now standing at the location of the Spahn movie ranch, where it once stood. But also, probably more notable, though, is the Spahn movie ranch is where the Manson family lived. So I would have loved to do a video on this separately, but sadly, as it happens, all the houses were taken down, such as the fate of Ed Gein's house, Jeffrey Dahmer's house. Well, these houses were taken down too, sadly. But it's cool to walk along the ground where it once stood. I mean, you know, they used to film TV shows here. You know, so it has that history to it. But then, of course, it has the dark, you know, interesting, but the dark history of the Manson family once inhabiting this place. So, for the bonus of this video, I'm just going to walk to the end of this. And actually, I did come here before. I believe I came in April. And yeah, it's even more overgrown. I mean, to be expected, as it is the summertime. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, it won't be the smoothest of hikes, but hey, I may be a lover, but I ain't no dancer, right? Oh boy. But yes, I am making my way, well, to the creepy dead tree. And just beyond that is the creek. And the creek the Manson family used, they would use it, they would go swimming, and obviously it was their source of water. And in their tapes, you can see them swimming in the creek, drinking from it. So that's, that will be my ending point for this. Again, I did pick a beautiful day at least. Beautiful morning. Now it's like I could potentially do a video on Charles Manson and the Manson family. But, I like to show locations in my videos. I haven't really done a typical documentary type of video. At least not yet. But I'd want to potentially show the house where Sharon Tate lived at, where Roman Polanski used to live, and may Sharon Tate rest in peace. But surely somebody lives in that house now, and obviously I'm not gonna, record the outside of the house if someone lives in it, obviously. But yeah, I figured at the very least, if this isn't quite enough for a video on its own, well, why not show it at the end of this video? Again, it is staying on the topic of movie ranches. Whew. I'm going along quite well. It's not as overgrown the deeper you go. So, okay. How will I... Yeah, like before when I was here, just checking it out. Yeah, you can't find some bits of metal here and there. So, you might find a couple of small objects that could have been from the buildings here and there. It'd probably be an interesting place to go through if you had a metal detector. So, yes. Beautiful look at the creek. All right, I've made it down to the creek. So just a quick look. Again, it's hard to imagine, but yeah, just back in 1969, 55 years ago, the Manson family, they were still here. This is where they would have got, their drinking water from. Other members include, of course, Susan Atkins, Tex, Mrs. Krenwinkel, if I'm saying that correctly. I mentioned the Sharon Tate house, or Roman Polanski's house, rather. I mentioned that earlier. Well, it's beautiful now. But all right, guys, that will about wrap it up for this portion of the video. Okay, that will about do it for this video. And yeah, I know, yet again, another urban exploring video. But, when I heard that place was once owned by Charlie Chaplin, kind of had to do it. And for the Spahn Ranch, as I said before, I didn't think it was quite interesting enough for a video on its own, as, again, as you saw, none of the houses were left standing. So yeah, I figured I'd just put it at the end of this video. And also another thing, I wasn't even planning on doing a video this summer, but 5 years ago, summer of 2019, I recorded so many videos. I had so many great explorers, one of the best times for me. So, why not pump out a video for the midpoint of the year? I actually deleted a video in place of this one because I had this, crazy schedule now for, when I do upload. Not as often as I used to. Yeah, just the message of that video is like holding myself accountable. Don't move from the West Coast, or unless you're going to the East Coast, that kind of thing. So that still holds true, but but again, I wanted to make room for this video. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in 2025. Take care.